I watched as my grandmother's only protection was forced out of town and slowly realized it was the best thing that could have happened. Our town isn't dangerous, but it's not safe either. The kind of place where you don't walk alone after dark and you don't leave your car unlocked. 3 shops on Main Street got robbed last year, but there was one store nobody ever touched, and that was my grandmother June's bakery. Every morning for 12 years, the same 5 ex-cons would roll their motorcycles up to my grandmother's shop at exactly 7 a.m. She taught them to read in the prison literacy program back when she volunteered there, and when they got out, they never forgot Mrs. June, who treated them like humans when nobody else would. They'd drink coffee on the front stoop, help carry flour bags, walk her to her car at night. Everyone in town knew the deal. You mess with June's bakery, you mess with them. For 12 years, that's how it worked. Grandma baked, the bikers showed up, nobody caused trouble. Then Mayor Bledsoe decided he had a problem with it. Bledsoe had been mayor for 9 years. Everyone in town knew he was crooked, somehow lived in a mansion on a public salary. At the town meeting, he announced his new downtown revival campaign, spoke in that slimy politician voice he always used. We need to protect our elderly business owners like Mrs. June from potential gang intimidation. Whispers started immediately. My grandmother stood up. These men are my friends, not some gang. I understand you're scared to speak against them publicly, Mrs. June. Bledsoe cut her off. But don't worry, we'll protect you. 3 days later, he showed up at the bakery personally. He ordered a coffee, then leaned close to my grandmother and whispered, "Off the record, I'd hate to see your health permits get reviewed if you keep harboring known criminals." My grandmother told him to get out. The next week, a health inspector showed up with a clipboard. Random inspection, he said. 17 violations that hadn't existed the day before. $2,500 in fines. 2 days after that, 3 of the bikers got arrested for loitering while helping grandma unload flour. Bail was set at $8,000 each. None of us could afford it. Bledsoe came back with another offer. "I can make those charges disappear. Your friends just need to leave voluntarily." Grandma poured his coffee with shaking hands, but her voice was steady. "Get out of my shop." The harassment got worse. More fines, more arrests. The remaining bikers lost their jobs after their employers received anonymous warnings about harboring criminals. One by one, the bikers stopped coming. They couldn't keep dragging grandma down with them. I begged her to apologize, to do whatever Bledsoe wanted. She refused. "I'm not abandoning my boys." The morning after the last biker stopped coming, I drove past her shop and felt sick. There were no motorcycles, cops, no protection. 3 days later, a man in a ski mask showed up at closing time. He broke grandma's wrist, grabbing $3,000 from the register. Beat her so bad she couldn't see out of her left eye. She was still in the hospital when Bledsoe showed up with flowers and a news crew the next morning. "This is exactly why we need the Safe Streets Initiative," he told the camera. That night, I started going through her old volunteer files, looking for something, anything. That's when I found a faded photo from grandma's high school she taught at, 1994. She was standing next to a young girl. The girl's face looked familiar. I googled the name and nearly dropped my phone. This girl was now the governor. I wrote her a letter explaining everything. 3 days later, her office called back. Grandma smiled for the first time in weeks. Then she wrote Mayor Bledsoe an apology letter. "You were right," it said. "I'd like to invite you to the bakery for a ribbon cutting. Let's show the community we can move forward together." Bledsoe responded within hours. He showed up that Saturday with his assistant and a news crew broadcasting live. "One of those famous apple turnovers," he announced loudly, "from the safest bakery on Main Street." That's when the roar of motorcycles filled the street. Bledsoe's face lit up. "Call the police. Those criminals just violated their restraining orders." But then a black SUV pulled up behind the bikes. The governor stepped out wearing a leather jacket. The bakery went dead silent. She walked through the door and looked at my grandmother. "Mrs. June, you believed in me when I was 14 and nobody else did. You told me I was going to do something important someday." Then she turned to Bledsoe. The camera was still rolling. "I've reviewed everything." Bledsoe's smug face started to crack. Suddenly, 2 police officers walked through the door. Between them was a man in handcuffs. I recognized him immediately. The man who robbed my grandmother. "This man was arrested last night trying to leave the state," the governor said. "When we searched his apartment, we found $5,000 in cash and a burner phone. The phone had one contact. You." Bledsoe went white. "He's already confessed. You paid him to rob Mrs. June's bakery to push your agenda." The governor stepped closer. "You didn't just harass an old woman. You hired someone to assault her." The officers moved toward him. "You're under arrest for conspiracy, assault, corruption, and abuse of office." Bledsoe tried to run. One of the bikers stepped in front of the door. They cuffed him right there while the news crew filmed everything.